Hello, everyone. This is Black Wolf and another episode of Real Life Confessions. Today we have a special guest. It's Mr. Unanimous. Say hello, yes, Mr. Unanimous.
Hello, everyone.
So today we're here, and the date is Monday. What's the date? Monday what? January what?
I think it's 12.
The 12th. January 12th. And I have a confession to make. So this show is really about confessions. We haven't really technically done it the right way yet, but we're still doing it. My confessions is I, Black Wolf, have been or have lied to most of, or somewhat, maybe all of the women I was involved with, including my 3 wives, and except for maybe 2 or 3 women, maybe 2 that I can remember. I don't really know or recall. I'm not proud of this. I'm not happy about it, but I have kept falsehoods from women that I've been with, and I'm confessing to it. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, I want to stop doing it because it's been destroying relationships. And a person like me, most people who know me, I want to be in one, but that's something that I have to get over. So I guess you would have some questions for me, sir.
Yeah. So how long have you said different women, how long has this been going on?
I believe it's been going on since I was maybe in my mid 20s, maybe early 30s. I don't know.
How old are you now?
I am 59.
So why are you just doing this now?
As far as confessing,
Mm-hmm.
because I've noticed that I've been destroying good relationships, and I wanted to stop because I want to stop. I don't want to hurt people anymore. I think it's time for me to realize what I'm doing and put a stop to it and find a way to be a better um, or a person that is responsible for not doing that, if you want to call it.
Well, what type of lies have you told, and what were the results of like when you say destroy? What do you mean in what way?
I've told lies of I would tell lies that were like in certain relationships or situations. If I was caught um you know talking to someone on the phone that I shouldn't have been talking to, like a female or whatever, or texting them, I would lie about it because I was caught, and that was wrong. Recently I lied about my divorce proceeds or situations or it happening or going forth. Instead of telling the truth that that process hadn't started, I lied about it. And then I lied about the procedures, the dates not being correct. I think I was lying because I was trying to protect myself, but that's when you're a liar, you're a coward, and you're also selfish. And you really can't care for someone if you're doing that because you're not thinking about them at all. You're just thinking about yourself.
Yeah. When you say you're trying to protect yourself, how do you think that would happen?
How did I think that happened?
Yeah, how do you think you would protect yourself by lying?
I thought I would protect myself um, by, well, the lying to me was to avoid the truth in certain matters. Wasn't that one with the divorce proceeds? I was thinking that that individual would not be interested in me anymore if she knew that I was still, I guess you would call it, married. Because when you're until you're divorced, you're still married. It doesn't matter if you're legally or not legally living with the person or not, and it could be 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years. It doesn't matter. You're still legally married to them, so you are married. So if you're lying about it, saying that you're not, that person, whether they meet you in person at a club, on a website, it's a form of deception because they believe that you're divorced, but you know you're not. And I saw myself protecting myself because there was reasons why I didn't have that process going on. And a lot of it, well, actually it was because of my finance. And I was embarrassed that, a man of my age in my situation, I wasn't able to afford a divorce process. And I was trying to find ways and means to take care of that. But these are things you should take care of before you get involved with someone or before you're on a dating site or whatever it is you're doing. And that's not what I was doing.
Why is that?
Because I felt like I was, because of the marriage, and what happened in the marriage, I felt like I was ready to move on, but that's a lie too, because being ready to move on also means taking care of what someone would told me, cleaning, your side of the street, keeping your backyard clean or whatever, taking care of your responsibilities, which is, if you're married and then you're trying to move on in a relationship, you can't do that. So you have to be divorced. So if that divorce is going to take 6 months, 2 months, 2 years, that's the time that you need to take care of it before you get involved with anyone. Because if you don't do that, all you're going to do is cause pain and hurt for that other person who is totally innocent of what it is you're doing.
Yeah, that's true. So, without everything being taken care of, why do you think you were ready? Aside from the financial aspect, what made you think you were ready coming right out of a relationship into another? Why do you think that's so?
Because I felt like when I was in the relationship, the fact that it was not really a good relationship, I wanted that healthy relationship. And I felt that since it was over, meaning I was no longer with the person, whether I was still married or not, and I wasn't living with them, I wasn't involved with them, I wasn't communicating with them, there was no way I was ever going to go back to them. I felt like that made me ready, but that's not true. Because I thought I probably was ready, but I wasn't ready for another person, because they deserve to have someone that is totally clear and clean of all of that and transparent. And I wasn't that.
So wait, what do you mean? Because but why did you? Okay, so if you were in a relationship for a marriage, especially for like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, there's a lot that goes on and a lot that affects you. But you thought fresh out of the relationship, you thought fresh out of it, you could have moved on to another relationship. Did you not see that all those things in that marriage affected you in some way, and you didn't need to seek that out, or you just thought that you were strong enough and capable enough to be in a new relationship right after separation?
I did.
Why is it? Why?
Because
you don't feel like any of that marriage affected you in any way negatively?
I didn't really think of it like that. I felt that because I was out of it and I was away from it and I was clear of it, that I wasn't really affected. I felt like because all I wanted was to be in a healthy relationship. And I figured since I was no longer dealing with that situation or that individual or whatever, I was clear and okay with moving forward. I didn't take anything else into perspective. That was like I was lying to myself. As I
You
might
didn't have,
say
you
that.
didn't, so you didn't have any baggage from it.
I did, but I didn't think I did. I really didn't think I had baggage. I thought that I was clear to move on because my mind in to me I was content with I was happy. I wasn't dealing with the drama or the issues of that marriage at that time.
That's interesting. You know what? Let me put this into a different perspective because that's interesting. I'm going to take this to an extreme situation. A soldier who goes to war and they fight the battle every day for however long they're there. And even if they win the battle, they come home, smiles on their face, yeah, ha ha, we won, thinking they're unaffected by it. So, the trick that we play on ourselves is to think that we've been unaffected by something when everything affects us. Everything we driving from our house to work affects us because we see things along the road, whether it be a homeless person or a billboard that says something. It affects us in some way or another. And without looking at those things, without looking within us and say, well, how did those years of marriage affect me? And I need to search this out. To think that you were just happy because the separation was over. You was just happy you were out of it. How could you not think at all that there was some residual effects from that? There are residual effects from everything we do. When a football player gets his heart and he gets his so-called, what they call it, your bell rung, that's a concussion, and that can last for weeks. And then one day he wakes up and bites into a sandwich that he eats for breakfast, and it feels like he's tasting metal. But that's because of the concussion that he suffered weeks earlier. And everything that we do has an effect on us. Everything we do has an effect on us. But people don't realize that, but they should, because we go through things every single day. Even if it's just going from home to work, it's going through something. We're going through traffic. We're going through a certain neighborhood to get to work. We're going through an area where I'm going to see um, things on this route to work, and everything affects you. I think that was a big mistake to do that. So now that you're making this confession, and we're talking about years of doing this, years. How has that affected you throughout those years? Have you sat down and looked at yourself and figured out how all those other relationships has affected you?
Of course I have. That's why I'm here now doing the confession, because I realize in the past couple of months I've been going through um I mean some would call it depression, but I would call it reflection. And what I'm doing or have done is analyzed all of the relationships that I have been in, all the lies, and I basically have realized what I've been going through or what I went through.
Okay. So, what have you come up with?
What I come up with is that the lies came from me being a coward and me being selfish and not caring about the person or persons that I was telling the lies to. Literally, because this is it. When you lie to someone, you do more than just tell them a falsehood that it basically destroys your character. You don't think about that, but you just destroyed a a trust bond that can take forever to get back.
Yeah.
And you just destroyed it within seconds by that that falsehood, that all you had to do is tell the truth, regardless of what the truth would reveal. But all you had to do is tell the truth, and that would have never occurred. That falsehood would have never occurred. The pain wouldn't have occurred. The mistrust wouldn't have occurred. And you can still deal or mend that relationship off the truth instead of a lie. Because once you lie, they can't trust you anymore. They can't. They're not supposed to. And another thing, you telling them you love them is also a lie, because why would you, or how can you love them if you tell them a lie?
Well, they can trust you because, this world is based on lie. Everybody's a lie. Everybody in this world lies. Everyone. And my experience, everybody are living a lie. And they just don't know it. They don't realize. So, well, first we got to figure out what is truth. And once you figure that out, then you're really in the right area. You got to figure out what truth is. But the problem is, people don't know what truth is. So they say they have their own truths and stuff. And no one has their own truths. No one. If anybody tells me they have their own truth, I ask an instruction manual. Because you know what? Everything you buy has an instruction manual to it, just on how it operates, right? You get a radio, you get an instruction manual. You do this, you get a piece of furniture, you have instructions on how to put it together. You get a computer, you have instructions on how to operate that, right?
Right.
Everything has instructions.
Right.
So when you were born and you have the whole truth, where are your instructions on how your life should be led? Because if you don't have your own instructions, everything you do through life, it dictates to you how you should live your life. Everything you hear, say, do, get involved with, dictates to you how you should live your life. So everybody lies. Everybody is living a lie, just about, until you find out what truth is. So that's what you need to find out first, what truth is. So what is truth?
That's a good question.
Let's look it up, the word truth.
Let's look it up, what truth is.
Yeah. That's interesting. I want to do that.
Okay.
What is truth? Okay, so, see what the dictionary says, what truth is. Truth is a complex concept, generally understood as that which aligns with reality. Makes no sense what that just said. Fact or actuality representing an accurate portrayal of the world, beliefs, or propositions. So, with that said, what is reality? Reality is everything you see, right? Everything you see, feel, touch, hear, with all your senses. That's reality. Reality is something that's real. Reality. R-E-A-L-I-T-Y. Reality. Real. Now, fact. What are facts? Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Throughout history, there are a lot of facts that has been hidden from us. A lot of facts that have not been told to us throughout the course of mankind history, which makes actuality blurred. So we can't properly represent an accurate portrayal of the world because of our beliefs and propositions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So it causes us to fall into falsehood.
Automatically, huh?
Automatically.
Wow.
Automatically. If you have no control over anything, which you do not, how can you find truth? That's a question people need to come up, they need to answer for themselves. And if anybody say they have their own truth, ask them where is their instruction manual. Because obviously they haven't been influenced by anything that they've seen or heard throughout their lives. They have their own truth.
Which is not true.
Which makes it a big ass lie.
Yes, it does.
And they're the biggest lie. Oh, that's interesting. This is an interesting thing because I want to know. I was talking to a person yesterday. We were talking about, she asked me a question about, how were my holidays. And I told her, I kind of avoided it. And I said, well, it's all right, it's like kind of like what yours was. And she said, oh, really? She said, what? You're not close to family? I said, I'm close to my family. And then she said, oh, so what do you mean? How? I said, well, I don't celebrate these holidays. Like, I just don't do it. And then she asked me why. So it kept going deeper and deeper. And I didn't want to go there, but she forced me to. So I told her. And that's one of the things, you got to understand something. These people in this world follow these holidays blindly without knowing anything about them. Blindly. And that's truth?
No, that's
truth
not
has
true.
A foundation. Truth has a foundation. It has a basis. Truth is one way. It's not wide. It's not winding. It's one way. It's straight. It's a straight line. So we need to figure out what truth is and where it came from.
We do. And I'm glad you brought that up because we are going to do that on our next show. Because it's going to be still confessions, and we're still going to talk about where truth comes from. A lot of you probably don't know or believe where it comes from, but it's not from you. It's definitely not from you. Those people who I was involved with that found out I lied, they made it seem like they never lied, and it makes sense. But we all lie, and I'm not proud of it. The reason why I'm up here doing this is because I want to wipe my slate clean. I want to make an effort to stop lying, period, and find the truth and go by the truth. That's my goal. What is yours? This is Black Wolf. I want to thank Mr. Unanimous for coming on and giving us some knowledge. And thanks for listening in and paying attention to Real Life Confessions.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Of course, I was about to say that. and the channel is My Kind Media. You'll probably see the logo. That's all you've been watching is the logo. Take care. Bye.